The divorce certificate is ready. Kevin handed me the red booklet. I took it and opened it. The photo was mine. The name was mine. But the stamped date on it was from 3 days ago. You said we were going today. I stared at him. My cousin pulled some strings to get it expedited. He smiled. That way you wouldn't have to make another trip. I tightened my grip on the booklet. 3 days ago. He said he was on a business trip. 3 days ago. His phone location was at the Civil Affairs Bureau. 3 days ago. He posted on social media, a new beginning. I couldn't see that post. Chapter 1. My name is Emma. I'm 32 years old. I've been married to Kevin for 8 years. And we have a 6-year-old daughter named Sophia. I make $12,000 a month. He makes $15,000. Together. That gives us $27,000 a month. The mortgage is $6,000. Sophia's kindergarten is $3,500. Living expenses are $5,000. We give his parents $2,000. That leaves $11,000. In 8 years, we saved $380,000. It's not a lot, but it was steady. Until a month ago, when Kevin said his hometown was about to be redeveloped. We can get 3 apartments. He sat on the sofa, his tone perfectly calm. But the policy changed. They're distributing them by household registration. Our little family counts as one household, and my parents count as another, so we can only get 2. I looked at him. If we divorce, we can get 1 more. I said nothing. A fake divorce. Just for show. He leaned closer and took my hand. Once the apartments are distributed, we'll remarry. 3 apartments. We keep 1 for Sophia and rent out the other 2. The rent alone would be at least $7,000 or $8,000 a month. I looked into his eyes. Sincere, earnest, even a little cautious. I don't agree. I pulled my hand back. He froze for a second. Why? There's no such thing as a fake divorce. I said, once the certificate is issued, then legally it's real. It's just a formality. He was getting anxious. Our feelings won't change. If our feelings haven't changed, then why divorce? That left him speechless. That night, he didn't bring it up again, but over the next month, he mentioned it every 3 days. Sometimes during dinner, sometimes before bed, sometimes right after I got off work, when he would block the door waiting for me. Think about Sophia. 3 apartments, that's worth $5 or $6 million. Other families do this all the time. Why can't we? I got fed up. Fine. Chapter 2. The moment I said that word, I saw his eyes light up. Really? I nodded. But I have conditions. Name them. I want our savings. He froze for a moment. All $380,000? Yes. I looked at him. Didn't you say it was only a formality? Since we're supposedly getting remarried anyway, what difference does it make whether the money stays with me or with you? He was silent for a few seconds. Fine. Too quick. Something in my chest tightened. $380,000. And he had not even hesitated. This was a man who would complain for 3 days straight if I bought a coat that cost $2,000. But I said nothing. And the apartment has to be put under Sophia's name. He froze again. The relocation apartments haven't even been assigned yet. I mean the one we're living in right now. This one? He frowned. This one still has a mortgage. We keep paying the mortgage. I said, but the name on the property certificate changes to Sophia's. His face changed. This isn't a fake divorce. This is splitting up the property. Didn't you say it was only a formality? I looked at him. He stared at me for several long seconds. Fine. When he said that word, the corner of his mouth twitched. I saw it. The next day, we went to the bank and transferred the savings into my name. On the 3rd day, we went to handle the property transfer. On the 4th day, he said we were going to the Civil Affairs Bureau. You go ahead and focus on work. My cousin and I will handle it. Your cousin? Yeah, she knows people there and can speed things up. I did not think much of it. And then, 3 days later, he brought the divorce certificate back. Looking at the date stamped on it, half my heart turned cold. It had been processed 3 days earlier. He said we were going that day. So what exactly had he been doing 3 days before that? That night, while he was in the shower, I unlocked his phone. In 8 years, he had never changed the passcode. Chapter 3. It was Sophia's birthday. I opened the photo album. There was nothing. I checked our WeChat chat history. There was nothing. But in his cloud photo album, there was one screenshot. It was a marriage certificate. In the photo were Kevin and a woman. I did not know that woman, but I had seen her name before. Gloria. The name he had mentioned again and again over the past few years. His college first love. The date on the marriage certificate was 3 days ago. The exact same date as on our divorce certificate. I held his phone, my fingers trembling. He came out of the bathroom. What's wrong? Why are you so pale? I turned off the screen. Nothing. Go to bed early. He rubbed his hair with a towel. I still have a business trip tomorrow. Where to? My hometown. I need to go back and sign some papers for the relocation. I looked at him. His expression was exactly the same as it had been a month ago. Sincere, earnest, even a little cautious. Okay, I said. That night, I did not sleep. I lay in bed listening to his breathing, my mind filled with that marriage certificate. 3 days ago, we got divorced, and he married someone else on the same day. So this so-called fake divorce had never been fake at all. From the very beginning, he had planned to divorce me for real. And those 3 relocation apartments? I took out my phone and searched for redevelopment information about his village. There was none. Nothing at all. There was no redevelopment plan for his village. I laughed. So the relocation was fake. The apartment distribution was fake. The only thing that was real was the divorce. So he had gone to all that trouble just to make me sign without resistance. So my 8-year marriage, Emma's 8-year marriage, had lost to a scam. Daybreak came. Kevin got up and packed his luggage. I'm leaving. I'll probably be back in 3 or 4 days. Take good care of Sophia. He stood by the door for a moment. You don't have anything to say? I looked at him. Have a safe trip. He froze for a second, smiled, and turned to leave. Chapter 4. The moment the door closed, I picked up my phone. The first call I made was to a real estate agent. I have an apartment I want to sell. Of course. Ma'am, what's the address? I'm not selling it anymore. I want to rent it out. That works too. In your area, the monthly rent could be around $4,500. Okay. The second call I made was to my mother. Mom, I'm divorced. There was silence on the other end for 3 seconds. Okay. My mother said only one word. Come home. I'll get your room ready. I hung up. The third call I made was to the mobile carrier. Hello. I'd like to cancel this number. Ma'am, are you sure? You've had this number for 11 years. 11 years. From dating to marriage. From marriage to divorce. I had used this number to call him more than 3,000 times. I'm sure. I said it. That day, I packed my luggage, took Sophia with me, and left that home. I left the key on the coffee table. Of the $380,000 in the bank account, I didn't touch a single cent. That was what I deserved after 8 years. The apartment had been transferred into Sophia's name, and the rent was deposited every month into Sophia's account. I took nothing extra. I owed nothing. I simply changed my phone number, changed my address, changed the way I lived. Chapter 5. 3 days later, Kevin called. He called my new number. I had never given it to him. How did you get it? I had Sophia's kindergarten teacher look it up. His voice was urgent. Where did you move to? That's none of your business. What do you mean? None of my business? He was getting agitated. Where's Sophia? Sophia is my daughter. Your daughter? I laughed. The day you got your marriage certificate with Gloria. Did you think about your daughter at all? Silence fell on the other end. How did you find out? Do you think I wasn't supposed to? He said nothing. I could hear his breathing, rough and heavy. I can explain. You don't have to. I hung up. The phone rang again. I did not answer. It rang again. I still did not answer. The third time, I picked up. If you call again, I'm marking this as harassment. Emma, he shouted. Is this how you're going to talk to me? We're divorced. I said it plainly. How exactly do you expect me to talk to you? That shut him up. We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. What about Sophia? Sophia is my daughter. Custody is mine. I said, it's written clearly in the divorce agreement. That's because. Because what? I cut him off. Because you were in such a hurry to marry someone else that you couldn't even be bothered to fight for custody? He fell silent again. Emma, listen to my explanation. No, Gloria is pregnant. I froze for a moment. Pregnant. How far along? 4 months. 4 months. 4 months ago. He started bringing up the fake divorce. So the timeline looked like this. Gloria got pregnant, he began persuading me into a fake divorce, he divorced me, he married Gloria. One step after another. Seamless. Congratulations. I said. What? Congratulations. You're going to be a father. My voice stayed calm. Even though you've already been a father for 6 years. Emma, don't call this number again. I hung up as soon as I said it. Then I blocked his number. Chapter 6. That night, my mother made braised spare ribs. Sophia ate until her mouth was shiny with oil. Mommy, when is Daddy coming to see me? I looked at her. Daddy is very busy. Busy with what? Busy with work. Sophia nodded and went back to eating her ribs. My mother glanced at me but said nothing. After dinner, Sophia went off to watch cartoons. My mother pulled me into the kitchen. He contacted you? What did he say? He said Gloria is pregnant. My mother's expression changed. When did that happen? 4 months. My mother fell silent for a moment. Then when he was pressuring you into that fake divorce. Exactly. I said. He already knew. My mother's hand tightened into a fist. Animal. She said only that one word. I said nothing. What about the $380,000? It's in my account. And the apartment? In Sophia's name. My mother let out a breath of relief. Thank God you kept your guard up. It wasn't that I kept my guard up. I said, it's that he was in too much of a hurry. The $380,000, he had not hesitated. The apartment transfer, he had not hesitated either. Because he knew the child in Gloria's belly could not wait. He needed speed. He needed to divorce quickly, marry quickly, and give that child a legitimate name as quickly as possible. So he agreed to everything. He thought I was stupid. He thought I was only scared. Only testing him. He never knew I was just leaving myself a way out. If it really had been a fake divorce, the money and the apartment could always be returned later. But if it wasn't, then at least I would have protection. What's your plan now? My mother asked. Go to work. That's it? That's it. Chapter 7. I looked out the window. Mom, I'm 32 years old. I have a job. I have savings. And I have a daughter. It's only a divorce. It's not the end of the world. My mother looked at me, her eyes reddening. It's not the divorce that breaks my heart. It's that you were deceived. I took her hand in mine. It's okay. The liar is already gone. Chapter 8. A week later. My mother-in-law came. No, that wasn't right. She should have been called my former mother-in-law. She stood at the door of my mother's apartment, carrying a bag of fruit. Emma. Her voice was just as warm and familiar as ever. Mom sent me to check on you and Sophia. I stood in the doorway and didn't move. Sophia isn't here. Not here? She froze for a moment. Where did she go? At school. Then I'll wait. She tried to step inside. I didn't let her. What do you want? Her smile stiffened. Emma, what kind of attitude is that? A normal one. I said, we're already divorced. So what? Her voice rose. I'm Sophia's grandmother. You are Sophia's grandmother. I said, but you're not my mother-in-law anymore. Her face flushed red. Emma, don't push your luck. Kevin just lost his head for a moment. That Gloria kept clinging to him. What was he supposed to do? Why don't you try thinking from his side for once? I looked at her. I thought about his side for 8 years. Now it's time I thought about mine. That left her speechless. Sophia's custody is mine. I cut in. Visitation is twice a month. If you want to see her, make an appointment in advance. What do you mean? Make an appointment? It means you call first and see whether I have time. Emma! She shrieked. Sophia is our family's child. What Sophia's last name is was decided when I gave birth to her. I said, I regret it now. If I had known, I would have given her my surname. Her face went pale. How dare you? Why wouldn't I dare? I looked at her. What exactly is there about your family that deserves my respect? Your son is the one who lied to me about the fake divorce. Your son is the one who registered a marriage with another woman. Your son is the one who got another woman pregnant. What gives your family the right to challenge me? Chapter 9. She had no words left. She stood in the doorway, her face shifting between red and white. Just you wait. She threw out those words, turned, and left. I closed the door. My mother came out of the bedroom. What did she say? Nothing much. She came for Sophia? I nodded. In her dreams, my mother let out a cold laugh. Her son tricked you, and now they still think they can take the child? Mom, she's not going to let this go. So what? My mother said, legally, Sophia is yours. I said nothing. I knew they would not give up that easily. But I also knew the law was on my side. Custody was mine. Guardianship was mine. If they wanted Sophia, they could forget it. That night, Kevin called. He called my mother's landline. Auntie, let Emma answer the phone. My mother looked at me. I shook my head. Emma's not here. How could she not be there? She just isn't. Auntie, Sophia is my daughter. I have the right to see her. The right? My mother laughed. Visitation twice a month. It's written clearly in the divorce agreement. If you want to see Sophia, make an appointment in advance. What do you mean? Make an appointment? You call first and see if Emma has time. Auntie, I'm not your auntie. My mother cut him off. My daughter is already divorced from you. Click. My mother hung up. That boy, just like his mother. I looked at my mother. Mom, thank you. What are you thanking me for? She reached out and stroked my hair. You're my daughter. Standing up for you is only natural. That night, I slept soundly. Since the divorce, it was the best night of sleep I had had. Chapter 10. Half a month later, I received a text message. It was from Kevin. I've already filed a lawsuit for Sophia's custody. Just wait for the court summons. I looked at the message and laughed. Exactly as expected. I called my lawyer. You saw it? I saw it. Don't worry, he doesn't have any advantage at all. You have a stable job, a fixed residence, and savings. And what about him? He just got married. His wife is pregnant, and his financial pressure is heavy. On top of that, his divorce was accomplished through deception. That's very damaging to his image. I know, but there's one thing I want to confirm. What is it? How many months pregnant is Gloria? 4 months. No, it should be 5 by now. 5 months. I did the math. 5 months ago, we weren't divorced yet. We had only been divorced for 1 month. You mean, he cheated during the marriage? Hard proof. My lawyer went silent for a moment. You want to use that? Why wouldn't I? It'll make things very ugly. When he lied to me, did he ever stop to think about whether it would look ugly? My lawyer fell silent. I need evidence. I said, Gloria's prenatal records. That won't be easy to get. I know. I said, but I have another way. I hung up. Then I sent Lily a message on WeChat. Lily was my college roommate and my best friend. She worked at a maternal and child health hospital. Lily, help me look into someone. Who? Gloria, 32 years old, around 5 months pregnant. Look into what? The date she opened her maternity file. You know that's against the rules, right? I know, but I need it. Lily was silent for a while. Give me 3 days. 3 days later, Lily sent me a photo. It was a screenshot of Gloria's maternity registration record. Gloria, age 32, first prenatal checkup date, April 15th. Gestational age, 12 weeks. April 15th, 12 weeks pregnant. That meant she got pregnant in January. We didn't start talking about the fake divorce until February. The divorce was processed in March. So when she got pregnant, Kevin and I were still legally married. That settled it. He had cheated during the marriage. Chapter 11. I saved the screenshot. Then I sent Kevin a text. I heard you're taking this to court. So now you're finally willing to talk to me? I just want to tell you one thing. What? I have Gloria's prenatal records. He didn't reply. I kept typing. Pregnant in January. Started persuading me into a fake divorce in February. Divorced me in March. Married her the same day. The timeline is very clear. Are you sure you still want to fight this case? He still didn't reply. I set down my phone. The next day, he called. What do you want? Withdraw the lawsuit. That's it? That's it. You think just because you have that evidence, I'm supposed to withdraw? That evidence is more than enough to ruin your day. I said it calmly. Cheating during the marriage, and then trying to fight for custody? How do you think a judge would rule? He fell silent. And besides, does your new wife know things are about to get this ugly? She's pregnant. Her emotions are already unstable. Are you sure you want her finding all this out? His breathing grew heavier. Emma, you've changed. I've changed? I laughed. You taught me. You lied to me for 8 years, and now you blame me for learning how to protect myself? He had nothing to say. Withdraw the lawsuit within 3 days. I said it plainly. Otherwise, this evidence will appear in court. I hung up. 3 days later, I received notice from the court. Plaintiff withdraws the complaint. I looked at those 4 words and let out a long breath. First round, I won. Chapter 12. After he withdrew the lawsuit, Kevin kept quiet for a while, but I knew it was only temporary. Sure enough, a month later, Kevin showed up again. This time, he didn't call. He came straight to my mother's house. Emma, we need to talk. He stood at the door holding a bouquet of flowers. Roses. He used to give me roses every Valentine's Day, but I wasn't who I used to be anymore. What is there to talk about? About Sophia. He said, I want to see her more often, twice a month. That's too little. It's in the agreement. The agreement can be changed. I looked at him. On what grounds? Because I'm her father. Her father? I laughed. Her father sees her twice a month, and each visit lasts less than 2 hours. Her father also has another child on the way with his new wife. And later, you'll come even less. No, I won't. He was getting agitated. Sophia is my daughter. How could I not care about her? You've already done a pretty poor job of caring. I said it plainly. You barely took care of her even before. I was the one changing diapers. I was the one feeding her. I was the one getting up in the middle of the night to soothe her. What did you do? You contributed 1 sperm. That's all. His face turned red. Emma, what kind of thing is that to say? The truth. Am I wrong? He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Go back. I said it calmly. Your new wife is still waiting for you at home. She's close to giving birth. Isn't she? Spend more time with her. He stood there, his face looking awful. Emma, you're going to regret this. Regret what? Regret leaving me. I looked at him and suddenly laughed. Kevin, you really are full of yourself. Why would I regret it? Regret not leaving you sooner? The color drained from his face. You, go, I said, before I call security. He stood there for a moment, then turned and left. He threw the flowers into the hallway. That night, Sophia asked me, Mommy, did Daddy come today? He did. Then why didn't he come see me? Chapter 13. I looked at her. He has something to do. What is it? Adult matters. Sophia pouted. Dad hasn't come to see me in a long time. Does he not want me anymore? I crouched down and stroked her head. Dad is very busy, but Dad will always love you. It was the first time I had lied to her, but I did not want her to know the truth. She was only 6 years old. She did not need to know that her father had abandoned her mother for another woman. She also did not need to know that her father would soon have another child. That child would take away part of her father's love, but she would slowly understand all of that in the future. For now, I only wanted her to be happy. Chapter 14. 2 months later, Gloria gave birth. It was a boy. Kevin's family threw a huge banquet and invited 3 tables of guests. I heard about it from Lily. I heard Kevin's mom is over the moon. Of course, she finally has a grandson. I put down my phone. A grandson. Sophia was a granddaughter, so she did not count. Heh. I remembered my mother-in-law's expression back when I gave birth to Sophia. How is it a girl? That was the first thing she said when she saw Sophia. Not it's wonderful that mother and daughter are safe. And not what a lovely baby. But how is it a girl? Now, she had finally gotten her grandson. That grandson was born by Gloria. That grandson was proof that her son had cheated. But she did not care. The only thing she cared about was that it was a boy. That night, I had a dream. In the dream, Sophia had grown up. She was wearing a white wedding dress and holding my arm. Mom, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that a woman can rely on herself. I woke up. Outside the window, dawn had not yet broken. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. 32 years old, a divorced woman, with a daughter. Before, I used to think those labels were terrifying, but now, I did not think that anymore. 32 is a wonderful age. A divorced woman means I saw someone clearly for who he was. Having a daughter means I received the best gift. What do I have to be afraid of? I have a job, with a monthly salary of $12,000. I have savings, $380,000. I have rental income, $4,500 a month. And I still have my mother. I lack nothing. The person I lacked is already gone, and it is better that he is gone. I got up and went to the kitchen to cook myself a bowl of noodles. After I finished eating, day had broken. A new day had begun. Chapter 15. After Kevin's mother finally got her grandson, she stayed quiet for 3 months. 3 months later, Kevin came again. This time, he brought me a piece of news. I want to move Sophia's household registration to Gloria's place. I thought I had misheard him. What did you say? Her household registration. He said, Sophia's household registration. I want it moved to Gloria's place. Why? The school district there is better. Sophia starts elementary school next year. That district has one of the top schools. I looked at him. You want me to move my daughter's household registration into the home you share with another woman? She's not some other woman. He frowned. She's my wife. Your wife. I laughed. 4 months ago, I was still your wife. That choked him into silence. Emma, I'm doing this for Sophia's own good. For Sophia's own good? You want her to go live under the same household registration as you and another woman? You want her on the same family register as that woman? Did you ask Sophia what she wants? He had nothing to say. Sophia's household registration is not being moved. I said it plainly. I'll handle her school myself. You'll handle it? He got agitated. What kind of school is near where you live? Some lousy neighborhood school. That's still better than sending her to your side. Emma, don't be so ungrateful. I looked at him. Ungrateful? You're lecturing me about gratitude? When you lied to me about the fake divorce, what kind of gratitude were you showing then? His face flushed red. That's a different matter. No, it isn't. I cut him off. Sophia is my daughter. And I have custody, her household registration, her school, everything about her. That's for me to decide. You don't get a say. Chapter 16. He stood there, his face livid. Emma, don't push me. Push you into what? Push me into going to court one more time. I laughed. Go ahead. I still have the evidence of your cheating during the marriage. Are you sure you want to do this again? He stared at me for several seconds. Just you wait. He threw out that sentence, then turned and left. That night, I got a phone call. It was Kevin's mother. Emma, are you really going to be this unreasonable? What do you mean, unreasonable? Sophia is our family's granddaughter. Of course her household registration should be with our family. The agreement says she belongs with me. The agreement can be changed. On what grounds? On the grounds that Sophia carries our family's surname. I laughed. A surname? Then I'll change it. What? I said. I'll change it. Sophia will take my surname. There was silence on the other end of the line. You dare? Her voice suddenly turned shrill. Of course I dare. I said. I have her custody, and her household registration is under my name. Changing her surname only requires the guardian's consent. My consent is enough. Emma, you vicious woman. Vicious woman? I laughed. Your son cheated. And your whole family worked together to trick me into divorce. And now you're turning around and blaming me? Who's the vicious one? She had no words left. Don't call this number again, I said. If you call again, I'll record it, and then I'll post everything about your family online. Click. I hung up. The next day, Lily sent me a WeChat message. I heard Kevin's mom was so furious last night that she ended up in the hospital. I looked at that message and smiled. Serves her right. Chapter 17. After Kevin's mother was hospitalized, things on his side stayed quiet for 2 months, but I knew it was only the calm before the storm. Sure enough, 2 months later, it came. Sophia came home from school, crying as she ran through the door. Mommy, Grandma said you're a bad person. I froze. Grandma? Grandma came to pick me up from school today. She said Mommy won't let me go to Daddy's house, and Mommy is a bad person. I crouched down and wiped the tears off her face. What else did Grandma say? She said, Sophia sobbed. She said I have a little brother. Little brother is very cute. She told me to go see little brother. My heart sank. Did you go? No. Sophia shook her head. Teacher said I can't go with strangers. I let out a breath of relief. Sophia, listen to Mommy. In the future, if Grandma comes to pick you up again, you're not allowed to go with her. Why? Because. I thought for a moment, not knowing how to explain it to her. Because Mommy and Daddy are divorced. I said, you live with Mommy. If you want to see Grandma, Mommy will arrange it. But you can't just go with Grandma whenever she comes. Do you understand? Sophia nodded. Mommy, Grandma said you're a bad person. Is that true? I hugged her. Do you think Mommy is a bad person? Sophia shook her head. Mommy is the best person in the world. I smiled. Then that's right. Mommy is not a bad person. Mommy is the person who loves you. That night, I sent Kevin a text message. Tell your mom not to go to the school again. Otherwise, I'll call the police. He replied very quickly. You've gone too far. Too far? Your mom stopped my daughter outside the school gate, and I'm the one who's gone too far? She just wanted to see her granddaughter. Wanted to see her? The agreement states it very clearly, twice a month. When was the last visit? A month ago. What right does she have to come this time? He did not reply. I kept typing, and don't let her say bad things about me in front of Sophia. A 6-year-old child understands everything. If you keep doing this, don't blame me for turning nasty. He still did not reply. The next day, I went to Sophia's kindergarten and had a talk with the principal. From now on, no one else is allowed to pick up the child, unless I personally give my consent. Chapter 18. The principal was very cooperative. No problem, we'll make a note of it in the pickup authorization records. I thanked the principal and went home. My mother was in the kitchen cooking. All settled? All settled. That's good. My mother sighed. That family really never knows when to stop. Mom, they're not going to let this go. So what? My mother said, the law is on your side. If they keep causing trouble, call the police. I nodded, but I knew it wasn't that simple. Kevin's family wanted Sophia not because they loved her, but because of pride. Because, in their eyes, a granddaughter belonged to their family. Even though I was the one who gave birth to her and raised her, even though her custody belonged to me, in their eyes, Sophia's surname mattered more than her happiness. So this was a battle I had to prepare to fight for the long haul. A week later, I received a lawyer's letter. It came from Kevin's family's lawyer. The contents were simple, a request to modify custody. The reason given was that, as the mother, I had prevented the child from maintaining normal contact with her father and his family, thereby infringing on the child's rights. I looked at the letter and laughed. Preventing normal contact? I had never once refused the twice-a-month visitation that was written into the agreement. They were the ones who chose not to come, and now they were turning around and biting back. I took a photo of the letter and sent it to my lawyer. You got it? I got it. Don't worry, they're trying to scare you. Without new facts or evidence, the court won't accept it. Then why send it at all? To pressure you, my lawyer said, to make you afraid, so you'll compromise on your own. I won't compromise. Good, but you need to be prepared. For what? they may use more aggressive methods. I was silent for a moment. Such as? For example, taking the child directly. Half my heart turned cold. That's illegal. Of course, the lawyer said, but the other side may not care. In their eyes, the child belongs to their family. They may think that taking back their own child is only natural. I tightened my grip on the phone. Then what should I do? Don't let her out of your sight for a moment, my lawyer said. Pick her up and drop her off yourself. When you go out, take her with you. And most importantly, stay alert. I hung up. That night, I made a decision to quit my job. Chapter 19. My company was in the city center, far too far from my mother's home. My commute took 2 hours every day, and my mother had been the one picking Sophia up from school and taking her there. But now, that was no longer possible. That family could make a move at any time. I had to protect Sophia myself. The next day, I handed in my resignation letter. My supervisor was stunned. Emma, you're doing so well here. Why do you want to quit? There are problems at home. What kind of problems? Can you tell me? I thought about it, then told the truth. I'm divorced. My ex-husband's family is trying to take my child. I have to personally take her to school and pick her up. My supervisor was silent for a moment. How about this? You take a leave of absence first. Handle the custody issue. And then come back to work. Sir, this may take a very long time. That's okay, he said. You've been with the company for 5 years. We can manage this much leave. I looked at him. Thank you. No need to thank me. He smiled. You're the best employee I've ever managed. I'd hate to lose you. I smiled too. For the first time, I felt that the world wasn't so terrible after all. There were still people willing to help me. Chapter 20. After taking leave from work, I personally took Sophia to kindergarten and picked her up every day. I dropped her off in the morning and picked her up in the afternoon. At noon, I would sit in a cafe near the kindergarten, reading, studying, handling some remote work. Life was peaceful, but I knew it was only the calm before the storm. Sure enough, 3 weeks later, trouble came. That afternoon, I went to pick up Sophia. At the kindergarten gate stood a man, Kevin, and beside him stood a woman, Gloria. My steps slowed. What are you doing here? Kevin looked at me. We're here to pick up the child. Pick up the child? I laughed. What date is it today? The 15th. Visitation days are the 1st and the 15th of every month. You came a week early. He froze for a second. I just wanted to see my daughter. Then you should have made an appointment. An appointment? He frowned. I need an appointment to see my own daughter? Yes. It's written in the agreement. His expression changed. Emma, don't push it too far. Too far? I looked at him, then at Gloria. You bring this woman to pick up my daughter, and you're telling me I'm the one going too far? Gloria finally spoke. Emma, we don't mean any harm. I just wanted to see Sophia. In the future, Sophia will be my daughter too. I looked at her. Your daughter? What exactly do you expect my daughter to call you? Mom? Gloria's face turned red. That's not what I meant. Then why are you here? I cut her off. What makes you think you have the right to show up here? You know exactly how you got where you are. What gives you the nerve to stand outside my daughter's kindergarten? Gloria's face went pale. Emma, you, leave. I said it plainly. Don't make me cause a scene in front of Sophia. Kevin's face turned dark. Emma, sooner or later, I'll take back Sophia's custody. Just wait. I'll be waiting, I said. But today, you leave. He looked at me, then turned and walked away. Gloria followed behind him. Stumbling slightly, I watched them go until they disappeared around the corner. Then Sophia ran out of the kindergarten. Mommy! Chapter 21. I crouched down and pulled her into my arms. Sophia, did you have fun at kindergarten today? I did. Her smile made my heart settle a little. No matter how much the Chin family caused trouble, I would protect her. That was my responsibility as her mother. Chapter 22. The attacks from Kevin's family grew more and more intense. Lawyers' letters, harassing phone calls, waiting at the school gate. But none of it worked. The law was on my side. Custody was mine. Guardianship was mine. If they wanted Sophia, they had to go through legal procedures. But legal procedures require evidence. And their evidence was that I had prevented the child from maintaining normal contact with her father. The problem was, I hadn't prevented anything. The 1st and the 15th of every month were visitation days. They could come. They could take Sophia out to play. They simply didn't want to follow the rules. What they wanted was to come whenever they felt like it and take her away whenever they wanted. But that was never going to happen. 3 months later, the court's ruling came down. The plaintiff's request was denied. Custody would not be changed. Holding the judgment in my hands, I finally let out a long breath. I had won this battle. That night, I treated my mother and Sophia to a big meal. Hot pot. Sophia's favorite. Mommy, will Daddy still come in the future? He will, I said, twice a month. Then can I go play at Daddy's house? I looked at her. Do you want to? Sophia thought about it. Not really. Why? Because that auntie is there. What auntie? Daddy's new wife. She copied my tone, saying it awkwardly. Is she mean to you? No. Sophia shook her head. She's very nice to me. But what? I don't like her. Sophia lowered her head. Because of her, Daddy doesn't want us anymore. My heart clenched. I had thought a 6-year-old child understood nothing, but it turned out she understood everything. Daddy didn't stop wanting you. I hugged her. Daddy just chose a different kind of life, but Daddy will always be your daddy. He will always love you. That was the second time I lied to her, but I didn't regret it. Some truths she would come to understand slowly when she grew older. For now, I only wanted to protect her innocence, protect her expectation of love, even if, one day, that expectation might be disappointed. Chapter 23. A year later. I changed jobs. Still the same line of work, finance. But the pay went up. $15,000 a month, adding the $4,500 in rent. I was bringing in nearly $20,000 every month. Near my mother's home, I bought a small 2-bedroom apartment. The down payment used half my savings, $190,000. The mortgage was $500,000, with a monthly payment of $3,500. The money I had left, I kept for Sophia's education. Sophia started elementary school, not the elite school Kevin had wanted her to attend. A private school I chose myself. The tuition was more expensive, but the teachers were better. The environment was better. Most importantly, it was close to me, easy for drop-off and pick-up. On weekends, I took Sophia to the park. She rode her bicycle ahead of me. Mommy, hurry up. Slow down. Don't fall. She turned around and smiled at me. The sunlight shone on her face, golden and bright. In that moment, I felt that all the hardship had been worth it. Kevin? Gloria? That was all in the past. I heard that things were not going too well for them. Gloria stayed home full-time taking care of the baby. With no income, Kevin had to carry the mortgage, the car payment, the baby formula, the diapers, and his mother's medical bills all by himself. His mother's high blood pressure had grown more serious, and just her medication alone cost several thousand a month, and his salary was still $15,000. He was spending more than he earned. I heard they had recently started considering selling the apartment, the very same school district apartment Kevin had once wanted Gloria to live in. When I heard that, I only smiled. I said nothing. Sophia rode her bike back to me. Mommy, I'm hungry. You're hungry? Then let's go eat. What are we having? What do you want? Sophia thought for a moment. Hot pot. All right. Hot pot it is. I took her hand and walked toward the restaurant. Chapter 24. After walking a few steps, Sophia suddenly asked me, Mommy, will you get married again? I froze for a moment. Why are you asking that? Because my classmate's mommy got married. She has a new daddy now. I want a new daddy too. I crouched down and looked into her eyes. Sophia, Mommy doesn't plan to get married again for now. But if one day I meet the right person, Mommy will ask what you think, okay? Sophia nodded. Okay. Then she suddenly leaned closer and whispered in my ear. Mommy, If you don't want to get married, you don't have to. I can protect you. I looked at her serious little face and smiled. All right. It's a deal. We'll protect each other. She held out her pinky. Pinky promise. I hooked my pinky with hers. As the sun set, our shadows stretched long across the ground. Her shadow and mine were joined together. In that moment, I suddenly felt that I lacked nothing at all. I had my daughter, my mother, my job, and my home, and I also had a heart that was free. As for Kevin, he had called me a few times, saying he wanted to remarry me, saying he and Gloria had been fighting, saying he regretted the choice he had made. I never answered. His number had long since been blocked. I only heard bits and pieces about him from Sophia now and then. For example, that he had put on weight again. For example, that he had even less hair now. For example, that he and Gloria had fought again. I listened, smiled faintly, and said nothing. Those things had nothing to do with me anymore. My life had turned to a new page, a page with no lies, no deceit, and no fake divorce. My phone vibrated. I picked it up and looked. It was a WeChat message from a number I didn't recognize. Emma, it's Kevin. I changed my number. Can we talk? I looked at the message and smiled. Then I opened the settings. Add to blacklist. The phone screen went dark. Sophia called out to me from ahead. Mommy, hurry up. I'm really hungry. Coming. I slipped my phone back into my pocket and quickened my pace to catch up with her. Ahead of me was the restaurant, the steaming hot pot, and Sophia's smiling face. What was behind me? I didn't want to know, and I didn't need to know.